George Floyd, Eric Gardner, and who else? Trayvon Martin. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Uh, I don't see ill or Bay on their names at all. I mean, it's a hard pill to swallow when you see anyone being tortured or misused, abused, and illegally murdered like these people were. I didn't like it. Many of us didn't like it. If you're a human being, you don't like that. But if we go to these people's families and say, well, listen, they're not supposed to do this to you, and this is wrong. Let's do something about it. What are they going to say? And we say, well, we're helping you and we're supporting you in the name of Allah, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and the great Moorish Science Temple of America, which was put together to free our people from this kind of atrocities, this kind of murdering, mayhem. You know what they're going to say to you? They're going to say something like, I'm sorry, I'm a Baptist. My father was a Baptist. My grandfather was a Baptist. And I'm not that. They are not going to join hip to hip with you in the remedy that the prophet has given to us. So this, again, is another example of what our prophet already prophesied that would occur for many of our people, unfortunately, that did proclaim their free national name and religion. Now, was that make a difference between us and them if they saw both of us together and said, well, I'm going to beat his head and not his head because he might be a Moorish American Muslim? No. What's going to happen is that we have to, and this is where proclamation comes in. We have to proclaim, sir, excuse me, I am a Moorish American Muslim, free national citizen, a law-abiding citizen, and I'm here to obey the law. I have done nothing wrong in the order of the law. Moorish American Muslims, through our moral codes of conduct, which is the divine instructions, would not find themselves more likely in any kind of situation like that, where their availability is there for them to be beaten, killed like that. They wouldn't find themselves there. They're going to find themselves in an industrial situation or something that's uplifting, normally, expectantly, according to the teachings that we had. Eric Gardner, Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, I can't imagine a Moorish American Muslim on the ground with his fez or turban on, with someone's knee on their neck, and they tell them we couldn't breathe. And if something like that did occur, the Moorish American community would have something to say legally, or should have something to say legally. If we get some of our greatest scholars and people who know better to drop that vanity and come in with one heart and one hand for all of us. And it may come to that way. It may come. I know the old Moors, the ones who were taught by the prophet, some of them taught me, they said it would come to a day where we get to be, the soldiers would mark our streets, and that we would have to have our Moorish flag and our flag of our country, United States of America, and we would have to have 2 safety pins. And we would have to pin those flags on each shoulder accordingly in order just to walk to the grocery store, walk the street, and our fez and our turbans, because they would not recognize you without some kind of free national standards to say who you are, what you all about. I do remember when 9/11 came, when that horrible thing in New York, and it's very difficult to talk about it because there's a lot of people that I knew I cared about, really, many of us. It's a horrible incident. Sister Murphy's Bay was living in an apartment building where police had come in and straightened out some ruckus with some other group, and they were looking for someone. They asked if they come in her house, and she said, yeah. And when they came in her house, she had her Moorish flag on the wall and her American flag on the wall. And she said that they just saluted her and says, this is wonderful. There's no need for us to really ask you anything. She said, and everybody around the neighborhood was wondering, why didn't they ask her numerous questions or harass her? Well, they knew signs and symbols was for the conscious mind. And some of the old Moors call it the blood of the lamb, where you recognize who you are. You recognize, and they recognize who you are. Any free national citizen bearing their free national name has their free national status, and your flags is one of the main pieces of your free national status. It's your main piece. It is the red flag with the 5-pointed green star in the center. It's not a Moroccan flag, it's a Moorish flag. Moorish flag. And the flag of our country, United States of America, which is our country. This is our country, and we ain't going nowhere. We will fight for our country. We will live for our country like any other citizens of any free national name. This is our country. And we're not the only free national citizen here in the United States of America. We're not the only one. And we join the melting pot of other citizens as a Moorish American. That is no African American. What is that? We never would join this melting pot without our nationality. There is a difference. Moorish Scientific America is not a trendy organization. Well, let's join the Moorish Scientific America is trendy. And you can't make it trendy. You can't make it black. You can't make it black light, because what is that anyway? That's nothing. We're not into that. Oh, I've got my fez, I've got my term. You got your term, all that. It's not that type of thing. It's totally different. It's serious. It attempts to correct a problem that is so serious that it was killing our people by the thousands. And especially our women. It was killing our women by the millions. And she was in the land of who cares, the cares of the world. This is a serious situation. The plight of our people as free national citizens is downright serious. So we're not playing. We're not trying to see who know the most, who knows more than that person. We're not trying to see all of that. We're just trying to be a good citizen of the United States of America and our dual society. That's what we're trying to do. And that's what we're doing for those who know. Those who know that they know. And to do anything else other than what the prophet told all of us to do is vanity. That's all it is. It's vanity. You want to just fill your head up that you saved the world in the whole day. That accident ain't due to praise. All praise is due to Allah, and everything that the prophet Noble Drawley set up for our organization is systematic, it's ordained, it's everything we need. We don't need to add nothing new as a dual society. We don't need that. I think what in our society, in American society here, Senator Henry Berry had a lot to do with that in 1852. In 1852, Senator Berry says, well, in order to keep these darkies under our foot and to control them, the best way to do is don't ever teach them to read. And those that we do teach to read, miseducate them. And you'll find that excerpt in Carter G. Woodson's book, The Miseducation of the Negro. Let's just miseducate them. And if we keep miseducating them, we're having like wild beasts in the field. And that's what our people are. Our people never saw the need. I saw it was necessary to proclaim their free national name, because this earlier century programming, in my opinion, along with other propaganda, turned our minds like that. We allowed them to turn our minds like that. And we, this is a large percentage that we have to take responsibility for that, really. Because they say, oh yeah, the Europeans put us in slavery. No, you did it. You strayed after their gods and their thing that you didn't know nothing about. You did a lot of that. Because there was some on the upswing who said, no, man, I'm not going after that. I'm not playing the shell game with you. Now you see me, now you don't. You're going to see me right now. R-A-T, not R-I-G-H-T. right now. The absurd thing about that is that they try to force this on the civilized people. Those people who are not recognized as Negro, Black, and colored nowhere in the world. And in fact, when they go to anywhere in the world and they can't say who they are, according to our prophet Noble Drawley, They can't state their name and nationality. They are abused and misused. I've traveled to many countries all around the world. And I've said it many times, I'm on my 6th passport of places I never thought I would go and see. And I went there as a Moorish American Muslim and was treated totally different from some people I saw, very few of them, who looked like me and didn't know who they were, and they were from the United States of America. They got the worst treatment. But I put it this way, their treatment was not like mine. But here's the thing, many of our people, through their ignorance, who can't state their free national name because they don't know it, they haven't accepted it if they do know it, are mistreated. They can't state it, so everything happens to them. But they want to force their ignorance on a civilized group of people. So is it okay? Is it all right? No, it's not okay. Yeah, I don't care how much money you got, too. You say, well, I got a lot of money. Does that make a difference? And we understand the prophet's editorials when he talks about those of our people who haven't proclaimed their free national name and religion before the constitutional government. He says, money don't make you a man. It's your free national standards and power that make you a man in the nation. That's what make you a man in the nation, your free national standards. We have free national standards in our jural society, in our religious society. Many of our free national standards is to wear our fez, wear our turban, to greet each other with our hands held up with the hearty Islam or peace. Our free national standards is our circle 7, the way we talk to one another, the way we communicate with one another, how we have our meetings, our constitution, everything that's about our religious society is all our free national standards that make us men and give us power. Power, real power. As a pluralistic person in a plural society, a religious society, that is power. And that's how we edify our children. See, that's how our children are able to grow like cedars on the mountaintop, because they're being edified. All this information that was never available to us before. So for those of us who say you don't need religion, yeah, you gotta have. If you come into the Moorish Science of America, that's what you come into. A religious corporation, a religious society, that's what you come into. Now, we like to read, we like to study, because we come from that kind of lineage. We gather knowledge of any information we can. We try to be masters of all kind of science, no matter what it is. And it's the art of conversation is a wonderful experience for many of us who are studiers, who are researchers. You know, to give, to quid pro quo, to give and to take bona fide information, especially on the rights and privileges of citizens that we're supposed to enjoy in the present Moroccan Empire. The prophet talked about that Jim Crowism. He says he had traveled to South, and he saw the mistreatment of our people through segregation, discrimination. He saw all of that. He saw it. And what was his answer? He said, if you remember that part of the editorial, he said, it is a result of our own people not living the life. He said, it is the result of our own people not living the life. He traveled to South. He put a temple in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. He lived the life. He lived the life. You don't have to say anything if you live the life. I remember we were in Tennessee. I think we was in Nashville, Tennessee. And one of the Moors took me to a store. And we sat down there having a cold soda. And it was owned by Europeans. And they came up, and the European woman came up to me and asked me, she says, I don't mean to pry or be any trouble, but you're not from here. Where are you from? I said, you mean city? She says, no, what country are you from? I said, I'm a descendant of Moroccan and born in America. She said, I knew. I didn't say anything to her, but I'm trying to live the life. They know, just like we know. They know. They know. You just can't talk to me any kind of way. And if you do, I'll leave. I have the mindset, since I know who I am and I know the the gallant history of our people. I have a mindset that when I'm anywhere, that they should already know that. So if I walk through the door, I make sure my shoulders are back and I'm standing tall and strong. And in my mind, they've already rolled out the red carpet for me. And there's so many trumpets blowing and announcing that a Moorish American Muslim is getting ready to walk through their front door. I have that mindset. And so in my mind, I'm hearing that, I'm seeing that, because I am proud of who I am as a citizen of the United States of America with my free national name. That's the way I think. And the prophet's teaching has got me to think like that. I don't take seconds. I don't have to. When I didn't know who I was, I took seconds because I didn't know. But now I've been washed, symbolic of cleansing of the soul. I know who I am. I know who I am, and I claim to let you know and respect who I am. I'm going to respect you too. But you're going to respect me. I'm not going to wear no gym shoes with my fez on. I'm not going to be looking tacky. I'm going to represent the prophet the best way I can in my attire, looking like I'm ready to do some business. So for those of our people who are reluctant to join the Moorish Science Temple of America, which is their right, it's their divine right. They're supposed to be here. And they think about segregation or racial discrimination and Jim Crow laws. We don't have that. We don't have that there. The only people who have that is the ones who think like that. You know, as a man thinketh, so be it. You know, we don't think that way. We don't act that way. I mean, why? It don't apply to us. If we're walking down the street, they say, "Hey, nigga," I don't turn around because that ain't me. I said, "Nigga," well, I don't know who you're talking to. I don't see one. Maybe you talking to yourself. It ain't me. It's not me. Islam isn't.